Hey guys, today I am going to be answering questions about my London trip that I took this summer. I asked on my Instagram if people had questions about it, and I got a few responses, so I figured I would just make a video and answer some of those questions. Before I start, I just kind of want to give a little overview of what exactly I did in London. So I was studying abroad. It was a summer abroad program with my school, and I was there for 6 weeks. So I was there like the end of May to the beginning of July. And I only took 2 classes there, but I was also only there for 6 weeks, like I said. So I took 2 fashion courses while I was there at a school in London, and it was super fun. So that's just a little background of what exactly I was doing in London. And now I'll start with the questions. Okay, so first, this one's probably one of the questions that I got the most. And it's what food was the best while I was in London? And was the food better than I thought? A lot of questions like that. So obviously, whenever I would hear about the food in London, it sounded very plain and boring. I honestly didn't try a lot of traditional London food. I didn't have beans on toast and stuff like that. That was actually another question, was if I tried beans on toast. No, I did not. The only traditional London food I feel like I really tried was bangers and mash. And okay, here's a picture of it. It looks really unappealing. I am very aware of that. But it was actually pretty good. I really liked it. Outside, but it wasn't my favorite thing that I got. My favorite thing that I got were these dumplings. And this was the first time that I've ever had dumplings. I think that's what they were called. They were really good. And I wanted to go and get them again before I left, but I didn't end up having the time. But overall, yes, the food was better than I thought. I got a burger at this one place I went to that was really good. So the food was really good. I didn't try a bunch of London food, I guess you could say. But the stuff I did have was good, and I don't really have any complaints. The next question was it fun, and would you recommend it for others? So I thought it was super fun. It was a little intimidating at first because I didn't know anyone going, but I ended up making friends and it was fine. And I would recommend it. I would recommend going to London just because, and I would recommend doing the study abroad program too. Because I know for my major, I am required to study abroad. And that was just a quick summer one. If you don't want to do a full semester study abroad kind of thing, then that's a really good alternative. It's just a summer program. And I did the 6-week program. There was also a 12-week program, but both of them covered the study abroad requirement for my major. So that was fun. Yes, I would recommend it. What was my least favorite part about London? Honestly, the main thing was probably just the fact that I didn't have a car. And I liked the public transportation. I didn't think it was bad. It was just at late at night or early in the morning, the public transportation isn't really running yet. So you unless you walk, you don't really have a way to get anywhere if you don't have a car. For instance, I was supposed to go to Dublin for a day. We were gonna fly there, but we had to leave so early, and there was no public transportation to get us to the airport. And the tickets that we booked, the bus, I swear it never came. So we totally just missed our trip to Dublin because no public transportation was running early. And it also doesn't run late. So if you're out late at night, then you have to get an Uber back or walk. And sometimes you're kind of far. That was probably the main thing. Other than that, though, it was super nice and I really liked the trip. What was the coolest thing that I saw? I out of all the touristy stuff, Big Ben was my favorite. I couldn't tell you why. It just is. I love Big Ben. But I also saw Paddington statue, which was literally on my bucket list before I even left, and I saw it twice. Here's the pictures. It was so fun, and I liked doing that. But also while I was there, I saw 2 West End shows, which is the Broadway of London. And I saw Hadestown and Wicked, and those were really fun. I totally wasn't even expecting to do that when I went to London because I didn't even realize that they had that. But when I did go, and see both of those. They were really cool, and I would recommend if you're going to London. Biggest culture shock. If I'm being honest, London, there wasn't like a ton of culture shock that I had because it isn't that different from the United States. I would say one of the biggest things is like I was living like kind of in like the city, which isn't what I'm used to, but it was super nice and it was super fun. But one of the other things that was probably, this is like really small, but it was probably one of the biggest culture shock things was whenever you are going on like escalators, and there's like a ton, they're all throughout like the tube stations, you have to stand on the right because if you're walking, you go on the left. Like people walk up and down the escalators all the time, so you have to stand on the right or otherwise they'll literally just like run you over. So that was like, it's really small, but like that was a big thing that I had to get used to when I was there. But other than that, it was like pretty fine. Like getting used to like the currency was fine. The pedestrian like walkway thing was also a little weird to figure out because like their rules are like a little different. I don't really know, but yeah, those are probably the two main things. Mainly the escalators though. Were there any cliches that were proven true or false? I don't know if this is like necessarily a cliche, but it is gray there and like rainy, which I feel like people hear about a lot. When I was there, it didn't feel that rainy, but it was definitely like gray. Like it's not a very sunny place, but it was fine. Like I feel like when you think some place is gonna be like gray, that it's gonna be like sad, but like it really wasn't. The weather was actually pretty nice when I was there, and it worked out. Like it rained like a little bit when I was there. That's kind of all I can remember. Other than that, just a little gray, but it wasn't anything huge. What surprised me when I was there? This one's actually a good one. So when I went there, I was expecting to hear a ton of like their accents, like the British accent, and you definitely hear a decent amount, but not as much as I thought I would hear. Like I heard a lot of American accents and like a ton of accents just from like all over the world. Like it wasn't like a ton of British accents like I thought it was going to be. I heard some, but other than that, it was just like a big conglomeration of like all kinds of accents that I heard. So that was odd. Because I was looking forward to hearing all the British accents and I actually did not hear as many as I thought I would. Did you find any cool places that you weren't expecting? When I went, there was a day where me and my friends went and did like all the touristy stuff, like Big Ben, London Eye, Westminster Abbey, all of that. It's like all right next to each other. So you could do all that in a day. But around that area, there is this like wine bar, I guess, but it's like underground. And like we got a charcuterie board and everything, and like it was really good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good, but it was a really nice place. Like it was just very relaxing to be there, but like there wasn't windows because it was like underground, but it was really cool. It was a little expensive, but would recommend. It's called like Gordon's, I think, if you're wondering, if you want to go. Will you go back and when? I want to go back. I don't know when, but I think I would go back. No, I know I'll go back. I just don't know when. I think it would be cool. I would even work there. Like the whole time I was in my classes and everything, we were talking about jobs and everything. And I could totally see myself working there. It's just really expensive. So that would be the biggest thing. And like a visa, all of that is just a lot to deal with. So we'll see. Who knows? What was the hardest adjustment you had to make? This adjustment, I feel like this wasn't really like specifically London, but it was more so the school. So where I go, we have places to get food all the way up until like 1 a.m. But at Regent's University, which is where I stayed in London, they had dinner. It was from like 5 to 7, and that was it. So if you didn't get dinner, then you had to go and like find something on your own. And I had money on my meal plan that I didn't want to go to waste. So I was obviously eating dinner at the dining hall, and eating dinner that early was a big adjustment. Like by 9 p.m. I was still up and I was still hungry because dinner was just at a weird time for me that I was not used to. And I'm sure that's not the case for like everywhere around London. It was probably just the school, but yeah, that took some getting used to. what was your favorite class? So I took 2 classes. One was fashion styling and one was fashion capitals London. And for fashion capitals, we got to go to like all these museums during class, which was really cool. But fashion styling was my favorite class that I took. It was super fun. Like, we got to use the photo studio and like take real actual photo shoots for the outfits that we styled. And that was really cool because you could tell that the school was like heavily focused on like fashion and like photography and everything. And that was really cool to experience because it is such a small school. But the classes were also small and like tight knit, which I like better. And they were more interactive, which was fun. But the styling class was definitely my favorite. My portfolio for it is also like my favorite thing that I've ever put together. So, top 5 tea recommendations. So I didn't even have that much tea while I was there. I maybe got tea at like 2 places, and both times I just got like a berry tea. Tea is not my favorite thing, especially like the hot tea like they have there. I would just get berry tea because I knew that I would drink it. And I added a lot of sugar to mine. And then like a little bit of milk sometimes. But I mainly added a lot of sugar to my tea. But the berry tea was good. I feel like most teas are gonna be pretty good there. I just didn't try that many. So yeah, that was all the questions. Thanks for watching my video. Subscribe. I post at 3 p.m. every single Friday. So subscribe and watch those videos when they come out. Also follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more content, and I will see you next week. Bye!